Right, we are here and we are looking at equations. Now, the first equation is of the quadratic type, but it involves a radical. And now, the second one also is an equation involving radicals, and the third one also involves x to the power 1/2, which is of the radical type, the equation itself. Okay, now, so let's get started now with solving these problems. Let's look at the first question first. How do we solve the first question first? Okay, there are a lot of other questions that I'm sure that I'm going to load for you to practice, but the first question first is this one, number one. Right, number one is x minus 3 the square root of x minus 10 equals 0. Okay, there are many ways to solve this problem. Many ways to solve this problem. But the most popular method is to get the radical sign to one side of the equation and everything else to the other side. So we can have this, the radical, like this, and then the 10 is negative, move it across, and then the x moved across like that, and obviously it attains a negative. So we can do it like this. It's one way to solve the problem, but there are many other methods that we use to solve these particular problems. And so what do we do next? We square both sides of the equation, meaning we have 3 minus 3 to the square root of x. You square on the left, and you square on the right. By squaring like this, you square the minus 3, it becomes a 9. You square the square root of x, becomes just x. You square 10. 10 by 10 is 100. Then 10 times minus x is minus 10x times 2, which is minus what? 20x plus x squared. So now what we're having is we have x squared. Okay, we have minus 20x and minus 9 is minus 29x. Okay, and then we have plus 100 is equal to what? It's equal to 0, like so. Then what do we do next? Right, what we have is we have the quadratic. So we're still looking at number one. We have the quadratic x squared, quadratic term, minus 29x plus 100. Minus 29x plus 100 equals 0. Okay, now we need to solve this. But what are the factors of this? So the way to do this is to actually multiply x squared with 100. If you multiply x squared with 100, so you take the x squared, you multiply it by 100. What does it give us? It gives us exactly 100 x squared. And then now we look for the factors of 100 that will give 29. What are the factors of 100 that will produce 29, for example? So you think about the factors of this. I know that this can actually be easily done, but what are the factors of 100 that will certainly give 29? Okay, I'm sure you've already guessed this and said, okay, they are minus 25x. Minus 4x, like this. Okay, because if you add them, minus 25 and minus 4, they give minus 29. But when you multiply minus 25x and minus 4x, they give you 100x squared. So, which means we have x squared minus 25x minus 4x plus 100 is equal to 0. Now let's look at the first two. the first two terms. Right. There is a common factor x, which is, if you pull out the common factor, you are left with x minus 25. Having taken out x as a common factor, taking out 4 as a common factor here, you have minus 25 equals 0. Okay, look at this. And now, x minus 25 is sort of the highest common factor that we can see here. So you can cross it out. And if we cross that out, we write x minus 25, and we're left with x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, and what does this mean? It means x is 25, or x is what? X is 4. Okay, now think about this. Are these the solutions to the equation? Okay, are these solutions to the equation? So if you take 25, for example, so you need to check. You need to check. Okay, for instance, if you take 25, what is 10 minus 25? 10 minus 25 is minus 15. Okay, so here you take the square root of 25 because the square root of x is 25. So square root of 25 is what? It's a 5. 5 by minus 3 is minus 15. So now this is fine. And then we have x equals 4. What is 10 minus 4?
6.
6. Well done. And then here we have the square root of x is 4. So the square root of 4 is what? It's 2. You take the square root of x. X is 4. So the square root of 4 is 2. And then minus 3 times 2 is what? Is minus 6. Also, if you come here and you put 4 here, 4 minus 6. What is 4 minus 6? Is minus 2.
Negative
Okay.
2.
Yes, 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Minus 2 minus 10 is what? It's minus 12. Okay, we can play around with those. But in the end, then, this one is not a solution, this. Because it does not satisfy this, because the left here, 10 minus 4 is what? It's 6. Here you take the square root of 4, take the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. You can even use a calculator for the square root of 4, it's 2. And then 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. Okay, minus 6 is not equal to positive 6. So in other words, that this one is not correct, and the only correct solution is what? Is 25. So in other words, for number 1, x is 25. Or x is what? Is 4. So this one is what? Is invalid. So this one is what? It is invalid. All right, so right, we'll look at the next one. The next one is this one. Okay. Number 2 has lots of square roots. And the way to deal with many square roots is to multiply out here, to distribute, to open up the brackets. So that is what you need to do here. So you open up the brackets. Number 2. Okay, which is equal to? Okay, now to solve this one, we distribute, we open up the brackets, we multiply this with this, and we multiply this with that. Okay, square root of x by square root of x, we get what? We get x. Square root of x by minus 1 is minus the square root of x, which is 4 minus the square root of x. Right. So what then do we get out of these? And what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this?
We put them in brackets. Get rid of the square
Okay.
roots.
So we group like terms. If whenever in mathematics you have terms on either side of the equation, you need to group them on one side of the equation. So one way to do that is you have minus the square root of x. You can bring this one, which is negative, to the other side, making it what? Positive. Okay. And therefore, these two guys cancel out. So that x is what? So that x is 4. X is 4. Is x4 the solution to this? Let us check. Okay, if you substitute 4 here, what is the answer here? If you x is 4, and then what is the square root of 4? Remember, the square root of 4
2.
is
Yeah.
2. 4 minus
It's
2.
2.
4 so you have 2. So you have 4 minus 2 on the right. 4 minus 2 is what? It's certainly 2 on the right of the equation. And then now if you come here this side, you put the square root of 4. It's 2. 2 minus 1, it's a 1. Okay, here we have the square root of 4. Yeah, good, it's a 1 there. The square root of 4 outside here is a 2. And then now you have 2 equals 2. 2 equals what? 2 equals 2. So the left and the right are equal to each other. And surely this is actually the solution to the problem. It is the solution to the problem. Next one. Next question. Number 3. Okay. Now we have number 3, and number 3 is just not different. It is x to the power 1/2. You square root of 45 minus the square root of 16 plus 4. Okay, this one is just involving SADs. A SAD is nothing other than the square root of a number, or the cube root of a number, some radical of a number that is irrational. So now we are able to do that. So for example, if you look at this particular question, what do we do here? Right, to solve for x here, let us first simplify. What is 45? 45 is 9 times 5. Okay, this 16 plus 4 is what? Is 20. So which is the square root of 9 and square root of 5?
There's a minus 3.
Which is 4 by 5.
Okay.
So, which is the, yeah, so you have square root of 9. Square root of 9 is what? Is 3.
It's 3.
And then you have square root of 5. Here you have the square root of 4, square root of 5. Okay, x is 1/2. You have 3, the square root of 5. Square root of 4 is what? Is 2, the square root of 5. Okay, number 3. X to 1/2. And then we have 3 the square root of 5 minus 2 the square root of 5. Okay, you have 3 the square root of 5 minus 2 the square root of 5. What is 3 the square root of 5 minus 2 the square root of 5? It is certainly 1 the square root of 5, which has the square root of 5. You know? So Okay, but this is not the answer yet. We need to solve for x. So what do we do here now? What do we do here now?
Get rid of the square root.
Yes, surely we get rid of the square root. And how do we get rid of the square root? What do we do to get rid of
The
the
bracket.
Yes, so obviously
the
to
bracket.
get rid of the square root, we remove the power. We must remove this power here. And to remove the power, we square the left and we square the right.
Mm.
So that x is, the square root of 5 is what?
5.
So x is what? Is 5. Okay, so yeah, so in the end, x is 5. Now, obviously, you need to check, is this the correct answer? So if you put this thing, we simplified this right-hand side, and we got square root of 5 here. When we simplified all these radicals, we simplified all these radicals, and we got the square root of 5. And then now, if you, in the place of x, you put 5 in the place of x, it becomes a 5 to the power 1/2. And the 5 to the power 1/2 is what? Is like the square root of 5. And this is the square root of 5. Okay, and this is the answer. And I think that let's take a break and then we shall be right back again at later on. Right. So, but there are other questions that I'm gonna send you on the thing on WhatsApp of the same kind, and we can try those questions, and then we shall be right back again at 8 p.m. Okay, so I'm right back again at 8 p.m. and we shall do more. Okay.
What are we doing today? Is it math and physics or what?
No, math and physics. Math and physics. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
Alright,
send
and
you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you more questions.
And then life science, Shine?
Yeah, and then life sciences shall do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, shall do it
Alright.
tomorrow. Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Yeah, thanks. Then, yeah, but I'm gonna send you problems of the same kind in the next couple of minutes for you to try. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks then. Okay, goodbye.
Yes, bye.
Bye, Loretta.